Welcome to the late night edition in Shine Bright Studios. I'll be your host while the moon is out and shining through the night, DJ Shy Guy. And I was looking at this as this was crossing my field of vision, and I was going back on last week and the incident involving the T community of the Colorful Coalition. And something told me, you know what, if I dug around some, I might find something to where, yeah, this is about to be sloppy, real sloppy. But it also gave me a hint that, yeah, both of your gubernatorial candidates, they're going to need the black vote. And my question is to everybody, whose vote is going to hold more water? Because to me, neither one of them, but that's to be determined. But let us continue. Virginia governor candidate faces GOP backlash over slavery DEI comments, troubled campaign start. So we're back at end of May when this came out. Oh boy. And this is our Lieutenant Governor, Winsome Sears. It said, from some of the stuff that she said, yeah, she's like, she would be the grandmother of Colonel Stinkmeaner in the Boondocks. Because I don't think she appreciate FBA culture, but so much. But let us continue. While while I try to tell people, yeah, y'all need to pay attention to some of the stuff that I'm telling you. Virginia Lieutenant Governor Winsome Sears is under growing fire from within her own party after invoking slavery to attack diversity programs, fueling Republican fears that her gubernatorial campaign could collapse before it gains traction. So basically, she's trying to play basically, in 30 seconds or less, she's trying to play the role of a pick me. And as said, y'all can call me messed up, but if I have to present evidence, I will present evidence. And she's trying to play the melanated card. Notice how I said melanated and not black. She is Jamaican, as in better this. She is Jamaican American. I am a black American. Meaning, as said, my ancestors came from this soil. You know, FBA Adolf Friedman. Yeah, that's where my descendants came from. And as said, Earl Sears, who was born in Jamaica, is seeking to become the first woman and second black governor of Virginia, sent a campaign fundraising email tying American slavery to modern day diversity, equity, and inclusion initiatives. A move that shook Republican circles wary of her hard-line stances and weak campaign infrastructure. Well, it looks like the House is starting to get wrecked already. I mean, Winnie, apparently you must not know how to read the room because you about to catch that nice little tongue lash from Dee Dee. And it seems like a lot of you and some of that MAGA red ilk be taking them. So it said you might need to lay off the MAGA Kool-Aid for a little while. Slaves did not die in the field so that we could call ourselves victims now in 2025. First and foremost, this is also what I was saying as well. Who is we? You're Jamaican. You're Jamaican. You're Jamaican American. Madam, who is we? Democrats think minorities can't succeed without DEI. I don't know. I don't know. This might come as a surprise, Winnie. You kind of DEI yourself. Because it's almost like you're trying to do the Obama dream, become the first melanated female governor or first Jamaican female governor, and you really think that you haven't had any DEI, or you think you haven't been jumped up to any forms of DEI? Yeah, the Republicans in that house, you keep going out of bounds, they're gonna put you back in bounds, and if you still try to go out of bounds, they're gonna put you in the penalty box. It also referenced Virginia as the former capital of the Confederacy. Yeah, we must know our history here. I mean, Winnie, you not realize? Let's see, 15. What is it? Was it 1619? I might be wrong, but Jamestown. This man by the name of Thomas Jefferson, Sally Hemings. George Washington. Robert E. Lee. Winnie. You don't apparently you want to basically rub out or minimize history and how history has only been but so favorable to black Americans. While the campaign later claimed it did not author the message and refused to say who did, the same language remains publicly posted on her WinRed fundraising site. And the video from 2023 shows Earl Sears making a nearby identical statement, making nearly identical statements at a live event. The controversy didn't emerge in a vacuum. The email is now seen as a pattern of polarizing positions threatening her viability in a high stakes gubernatorial race. Nearly a dozen Republican strategists and officials in Virginia say the campaign's slow fundraising, lack of grassroots energy — I want you to put a highlight in that — and poor outreach to swing voters have created a mounting crisis. Well, let's see. Slow fundraising. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but yeah, you Republicans weren't doing too tight. Virginia, they don't care if you were 50 miles away from Trump. Oh, if you were kind of riding Trump's coattails, no, they want you out. They said, we already got the Senate, we got the House. Now we're gonna take the governor chair. And grassroots energy. Yeah, because we know she's Jamaican American. You could almost say similar to Kamala Harris, where Kamala Harris is Hindi and Jamaican American. Yeah, just minus the cackle. She's off to a shaky start, and in a state like Virginia, that's not a luxury you can afford. Y'all, I wonder how much y'all paid for such sterling education to say such a thing. Longtime Republican strategist Jimmy Keedy told Politico, when the White House is in Republican hands, Virginia becomes even harder. You need momentum, discipline, and message control, and right now, they've got none of that. See, y'all could have played this smarter. Yeah, when he's taking away your momentum. y'all have some form of discipline and message control. If you would have listened to my recording last week, basically y'all should be first and 10 on the Democratic 15 and the 2 minute warning. Y'all should be able to close this game open and shut. But yeah, backtracking, y'all, Winnie Sears, you should be lucky that Fox News helped you pick the ball up to get y'all in the position that you are in. Earl Sears' hardline views on social issues have also drawn criticism from within her party. As lieutenant governor, she has taken unprecedented steps to distance herself from progressive legislation, even when legally required to process it. Madam, I'm going to say the same thing. I'm going to paraphrase it. Don't let your faith fuck up your funds. What do I mean by that? Ma'am, we know we some of us have common sense. We know that you're supposed to be for the people. In some cases, you got to put your beliefs on the side because you're a governor. You're responsible for, I'd say, about 9 million people. And if I'm over that amount, well, I gave it a blind shot. I'm just saying to keep the show moving. You're responsible for 9 million people. And if you don't listen to a certain side or pick the better side for tug of war, guess what? That seat gonna be warm for somebody else. Earl Sears' hardline views on social issues have drawn criticism from within her party. As lieutenant governor, she has taken unprecedented steps to distance herself from progressive legislation, even when legally required to process it. She added handwritten notes of moral objection to two major bills, one enshrining abortion rights into the state constitution, and another prohibiting discrimination in marriage licensing based on sex, gender, or race. So, madam, okay, so let's see. So you're talking about same sex, transgender, or and interracial. So basically, you're trying to go all hard in the paint to think that you can quote unquote overturn Loving in Virginia and Oberfell. Ma'am, it said if I would have found this early, yeah, you would have been getting straight cooked because you realize, okay, Miss Winnie, you realize Southeast Virginia, yeah, Southeastern Virginia is a very tightly knit web within the Colorful Coalition. Like you try to come down to Norfolk talking some of this. You go to downtown Norfolk talking some of this, madam, you gonna get put in the Elizabeth. In the case of House Bill 174, which affirms marriage equality, Earl Sears wrote, I remain morally opposed to the contents of House Bill 174 as passed by the General Assembly. The bill was sponsored by Delegate Rosia Henson, an openly G black lawmaker from Prince William County. She knows I am openly G black state representative, so the fact that she wrote something personal on my bill, knowing me and my family, that was disheartening, Henson said. See, hey, you lefties on the colorful coalition, and you righties on the colorful coalition. I'm gonna need y'all to have this kind of conversation to see this is what y'all are about to bring in here. I'm gonna need y'all to carry that conversation on. I'm giving you the seeds. Y'all gonna have to make it grow from there. Despite clashing with Democrats, the internal party rift deepens with Earl Sears' strained relationship with Republican Lieutenant Governor nominee John Reed, an openly MAGA aligned candidate whose presence on the ticket complicates the GOP's messaging in the suburban backgrounds where Democrats have gained ground. Oh, let me do a little research real quick. We got Governor nominee John Reed, and he's going for lieutenant governor. Yep. Man. Yeah, the jokes are writing themselves. They are literally writing themselves right now for poor Winnie. Hell, I might have to make this a series. Let's see, Lieutenant Governor John Reed. Was it? Was it John Reed? Boy, when he about to when he about to start cat when he might have when he's taking too many L's right now. See, I just want the wiki. Okay, let's see. John Reed. All right, let's look at Virginia Mercury. Oh, yeah, we got the great value Gerard Butler. Man, Winnie is taking these out, took these L's. Damn. Let's see. Did I get to the right one? Let's see. Man, she is taking these L's to the face. Where was I? I think I might have went off course. I might have went. Oh, here we go. Here we go. We just went a little off course. And let's see. Where were we? All right, we'll just pick the common point. Despite clashing with Democrats, the internal party rift deepens with Earl Sears' strained relationship with Republican Lieutenant Governor nominee John Reed, an openly MAGA aligned candidate whose presence on the ticket complicates the GOP's message in the suburban backgrounds where Democrats have gained ground. And also, it said, you saw the picture of John Reed. It said that I actually want to know, how did he handle what happened last week? That's something, if I get a chance to remember, which in most cases I probably won't. I want to know how he handled it because that's going to determine a fair amount. It's like, you sit there and liked it, or are you actually going to make light of it? Let's see. K. Coles James, the former president of the Heritage Foundation, And a respected GOP figure in Virginia acknowledged the rough start but urged caution. Oh, God. Heritage Foundation, look, it's a think tank. If you follow some of the black media, look up Christopher Rufo. He's one of those that came from the Heritage Foundation. They were kind of the ones that drafted the whole Project 2025 hysteria. There are those kind of glitches. You manage them. You move forward, she said. I'm not in panic mode yet. Y'all, no, actually, you know what? If you go down the technical timeline, you know what? I'd actually agree. But concern is growing. The GOP is already facing resistance statewide due to the Orange Man's cuts to the federal workforce, a major employer in Virginia, and Sears' messaging has done little to broaden appeal in the crucial suburbs surrounding Washington D.C. Oh that's where most of that blue gonna come from. Most of that blue's gonna come from Nova, Hampton Roads, Richmond. Oh, Rowantoke. Yeah, and yeah, some of your majority of your college towns like Charlottesville, Lynchburg. Maybe I'd have to do a little bit more reading on Lynchburg, but Charlottesville, yeah. So you got a fair amount of blue that you might want to be paying attention to. Meanwhile, Democrats are unified and with very good reason. Former CIA officer and three-term Congresswoman Abigail Spanberger has secured the Democratic nomination after no challengers filed by the state's deadline. Her moderate record and disciplined campaign posture are expected to pose a formidable challenge. All right, so now we're in that corner. So let me ask a question. If how do you I want to know, it said, actually I'm gonna pin myself on that. As the Democratic nominee for governor of Virginia, I look forward to having many more meaningful conversations with all Virginians across our communities and regardless of who they've cast their votes for in the past about issues that matter the most to them, Spanberger said in a statement. Okay, Winnie, I hate to say this, but you in trouble, girl. And let's see, because I don't think that there was too much off the views, but let's spin that wheel and go for, let's see what I want. Extremist views. Mm, let's see. Oh, oh. She even compared abortion to the work of the KKK and compared Virginians who support abortion rights to terrorists. Ma'am, your mouth is all kinds of reckless. Putting Virginia schools last. Ma'am, you are reckless. And I'm just going through this. Yeah, try putting Virginia schools in last. Yeah, that's gonna be a big FAFO right there. And I'm just scrolling through this because it said clock's winding down, and I'd like to eventually get a little bit of sleep. Let's see. Well, let's see. I said, yep, she's gonna be a mammy for the Orange Man while his time is there. When it comes to LGBT rights, Winsome Sears claimed that legalizing same-sex marriage could lead to the destruction of society. What happened to love who you want to love? What happened to we are people? We are people as well. She supported a national ban on same-sex marriage, voted to cut funding for AIDS clinics in Virginia, and has campaigned with hate groups and anti-gay activists who have called homosexuality the work of the devil. So what if I'm an atheist? I mean, what are you going to say? I should have no form of autonomy or autonomy of my decisions? Said that's going to get her put in a hole. She went out of her way to write that she was morally opposed to a bill protecting same sex marriage that even Republican Governor Glenn Youngkin signed into law. She's trying to play the whole mammy and not reading the room, as said Youngkin, because if Youngkin really wanted to be that much of an asshole, and I'm not throwing cape or cap, yeah, Virginia weed laws might be a whole hell of a lot different. I'm not gonna say I'm pro Youngkin, however, Winnie ain't reading the room because Youngkin was quote unquote morally opposed, but he realized that he would be shortchanging himself out of votes. And you want to get people's vote, this kind of rhetoric that you have that's going against you, Winnie, is going to have you going back to Kingston. Winsome Earl Sears is not looking out for Virginia families. She supported tax plans that would raise taxes on middle class and working families in Virginia, all to pay for tax cuts for billionaires and special corporations. Sears is a MAGA Republican and a cheerleader for Donald Trump, who will put her extreme agenda first. I said, that's going to be the end of part one because I'd like to get to bed at some point. But until we get to part two on Winnie, as we let this night come to a close, stand up, stand out, shine bright, and good night.